There was no help. I was swimming at night in a pool of ink with sunglasses on. I don't remember any advising, a meaningful connection with a member of the faculty or dean. And I remember looking down and saying, my God, Harvard is the biggest mistake you have ever made in your entire life. Neither of my parents had gone to college. They valued education, but it wasn't like they wanted me to go to Harvard. I had a really good memory. I had a strong work ethic. Is this material going to be on the test could have been my motto. Somehow or other, I ended up at the top of my class of 850. Terribly irritated the really smart kids. My college advisor said Harvard is worth a shot. And the day that I found out I got in, I was as shocked as anybody. We arrived in Cambridge. There was Ivy. I mean, it was as billed. We never did make it to Durgan Park. Drove past it north to south, south to north, north to south again. You know, the Southeast Expressway, Boston driving. My mother walked into my room. I was in C31 Wigglesworth. Bartley's Burger Cottage was the view out the window. There were no knobs on the dresser, and right above the bed is this big hole through the ceiling, like something out of a prison cell. And my mother started to cry. Her little boy was going to be left in this decrepit room. Who knows what is going to happen to him? There were some wonderful moments during the 4 years. I played intramural hockey. I met a lot of wonderful people. I took some interesting courses. But it was sort of a random walk. I don't know what I did. I avoided some classes because I thought they were too hard. I avoided some classes because they met on Saturday. It wasn't like, God, I really want to know more about John Keats's poetry. And instead of reacting like, whoa, what an opportunity, I think I shrunk inwards and didn't want to expose myself to the possibility of failure. But we were at a dinner party a couple years ago, and someone asked, so what do you think is the most important thing that influenced your life? And don't say marrying your wife, that doesn't count. I didn't have to think more than a moment. It was coming here for college. It's just the strangest thing. As recently as 2 days ago, someone said, so where'd you go to college? And I said, Harvard. And it's like their pupils dilate. It's like the best brand in the world. I think I would have had a fantastic experience at Northwestern. I probably would have ended up as a pediatrician in Evanston, Illinois, belonged to a country club, played a lot of golf. It would have been a very different life. But I spent my whole adult working life, 40 years, related to Harvard Medical School. And I had a wonderful career, wonderful opportunities. And now I love Harvard. I love going to classes. We audit classes. I can go into all the libraries. I love the museums. I love walking around. I mean, my God, for this naive waif from the Midwest, I feel very fortunate. It is an arrogant place. It doesn't coddle. It judges by excellence, but it doesn't pretend to be anything else. So, I'm torn between Harvard should be more helpful and guiding and supportive in loco parentis, and on the other hand saying, well, would I rather have them spend that to recruit Helen Vendler or Seamus Heaney? I think that's probably better. And you know what? Their job is to keep investing in the faculty and the buildings, that ridiculous endowment that just keeps making great things happen. So that 100 years from now, when someone says I went to Harvard, someone else's pupils dilate.